spooky friends, welcome back to Kelly Does Stuff. Today is part 2 of showing you how I created a PVC tree, witch tree, out of PVC tree, you see? This is indicative of how this whole thing is going to go. As I mentioned in part 1, I started this project last year. This is the first time that I've really gone back and looked at that footage, and here is what I can tell you about today's video. If you're looking for like a summary, just like boil it down for me. It's a lot of hammering PVC pipe. How long do you have to do this? Talking about glue for PVC pipe. So I have to glue this together. I don't have pipe glue. Whoop! It's dripping! Like pipe glue's an accessory. And then just sculpting and sculpting and sculpting. I know that I said, like, for these videos, I was kind of trying something new where I really wanted to like bring you in with me. The point is Fraggle Rock. I'm not crying, I'm laughing. Do you want to wear a hat today? Do you want to wear a belt? You know Apollo 13? But I do feel like maybe you didn't want to watch like 14 days of footage of the same thing. So I labeled my part 1 video tutorial. And for this, it's part 2, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know that anything I show you or tell you in this video should be considered like a how-to. It's definitely leaning, and I don't know what I'm doing. This is barely even secured. Oh my God, they're falling out! I mean, it didn't go fabulous, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I suppose I give some tips. The heat from a heat gun is hot. Wear it as a hat. Don't get that foam glue in your hair. This project would probably go faster if you were an octopus. I'm not necessarily saying that you should do any of this at all. Sound continues to be an issue. The cicadas scream, they don't care. They don't care that you want to film and do stuff. There's like TV playing in the background. So if you're like, is this a sound delight? I would say absolutely not. No, it is what it is. So let's just get into it. Part 2 of creating a witch tree. All right, I will start off with something helpful. You can attach and remove this PVC pipe to create the design that you're looking for. I originally thought once you put it in, it was in for good, but that is not the case. As I'm creating the tree, I'm thinking about both the design of the tree and that it will be sturdy when it's all said and done. You have to like pound in the PVC pipe.
Sunglasses. I don't know how.
All right, well, left to my own devices, here we go. One thing I do want to mention, this thing that I'm working on right here is trying to make sure that that piece of PVC is level, because that's where I'm going to be putting my wooden platforms where my houses are going to go. This was pretty much an endless process of hammering, adding PVC pipe, removing it, and testing out those wooden platforms along the way. How long do you have to do this? Wait, why are these coming out? This doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I thought when you pounded them in real good, they stayed in. No? You have to glue them? I don't have that. I don't have pipe glue, because it... Okay, I'll spare you the screaming back and forth. Here's what you need to know. There is something called PVC pipe glue that you need to attach PVC. I knew this, I saw it at the store, and I just decided not to buy it because my motto is, why do things correctly and easily when you can just make it harder? I end up hot gluing the pipe where the pieces come together, and I absolutely don't recommend this. I can't tell you if this is smart or safe.
It's the year 4025. And I'm still doing stuff with pipe. Obviously, you have to take the pipe apart to glue it, because that's the thing you have to do. You have to glue. If you don't know you have to glue pipe, you have to glue pipe. And I knew that. I just was like, it's probably fine if I don't do that. Go to Lowe's. Do you know how much pipe glue there is? There's so much pipe glue. I feel like I treated pipe glue like pipe glue's an accessory. Do you want to wear a hat today? Do you want to wear a belt? So I just didn't get the glue. The point is Fraggle Rock. I had to take all of this pipe apart. I don't remember where it goes. And I took a picture, and it didn't make sense. And you know what? It's time to go to bed. I just wanted the pipe to be done. And the house is a mess. I'm not crying, I'm laughing. If I don't do the pipe tree, then I'll just have pipe dreams. I think I can speak for all of us when I say, thank goodness that's over. It's the next day, and we can move on to the next part of the tree. The issue is that some of these actually aren't level, so I am nervous to put the house on them. It's definitely leaning. I do really like it so far. So obviously a lot of stuff left to be done to turn it into a tree, but I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get to drilling these on here, and then get these in place and see what that looks like. And I think for that we're going out into the heat. If you think I solved all the screw drama in part 1, think again, because I still don't seem to have the right size. I'm gonna go root around and see if we have an in-between screw size. All right, that was a real big no, so it just is what it is. I drilled through my table yesterday, so that was cool. Continuing with things I don't recommend doing, I'm not suggesting that you should drill pilot holes this way. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this now. Oh, that's probably not ideal. In an effort not to brand myself like I did last time, I'm testing this to see if it's hot before I pull it out. How many of you saw this coming? Not gonna get those pilot holes matched back up. There is so much space in between this. But, I mean, it didn't go fabulous, I'm gonna be honest. It was, I'd say it was a 7 out of 10, which is generous because I think I stripped all 3 of my screws. This is barely even secured. It's probably a 4 out of 10. All right, I'll spare you the creation of the rest of those, but I will tell you that I did get better at screwing them as I went along. Now, what I'm doing here is, again, just testing out where each of those platforms are going to go, and I'm thinking about the actual house that's going to go on them as well. That's really determining the placement of the platforms. I decided to build up the rest of my tree using pool noodles. I watched a ton of videos on all of the different shapes and things that you can create bonding pool noodles together. So here we go. I'm just gonna play around, see how this goes. So slice it down the middle. Okay. Now let's just kind of see what happens. What's gonna happen? Ooh. We're gonna put this on here, it's too big. But what I think I can do is put that on there. And I don't know, it's starting to look like a branch. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna attach it. Okay, so if I use hot glue, the hot glue will melt this. It's just gonna go right through the foam. I am liking that. I'm just gonna leave that there for a second. All right, so here's where I had my cut. Just taking a box cutter, going straight down. I'm gonna try this part here. It's actually pretty perfect. Oh, I didn't totally get it. Really should adjust the camera. What am I doing? Oh. Where's the other half? Oh, it's... Oh, I didn't... Oh, yikes. Now, I got these poo noodles. I got these pool noodles at the dollar store. And they only had the smaller size. So I think I'm gonna also go to CVS and get some of the bigger size for obvious reasons. I think that's gonna work. Okay, so what I learned about pool noodles, if you have a heat gun and you heat, I
any part of it and attach it to another, it like bonds, right? And then this becomes like a thing. Wear your safety equipment, do your research, make good choices. Just because somebody else has done it doesn't mean that they've thoroughly done the research, okay? I'm just, all the disclaimers.
All right, let's start creating a tree. If you can imagine it, this is good. We're getting some good base here with the trunk. It's gonna be really round. And then this is going to be coming down. You've got a root coming down this way. I'm gonna do like another one here, you know, and of course, this is all gonna be painted and textured, and hopefully it will look like wood. It'll look like a tree, and then we can, you know, do different things, make that into like a knot. But this is definitely going to be a very long process. The first time you do stuff, especially with new materials, you know, it's just so much playing around, figuring it out, trial and error, a lot of error, more trials. I'm gonna do a quick update.
All right, so I have been just kind of cutting, throwing stuff on there and taping it. And this, I like this because it just feels fast, like it feels like I'm doing something productive. I started out by cutting each piece individually and then trying to glue it and then use the heat gun and it feels like you're just treading water. Just now got down here to the trunk. Here's my thought, because the trunk is gonna be bigger, right? So I thought, I might not even need to, cause see like this one, all right, I gotta jump in with the voiceover because my explanation here is pretty incoherent. What I decided to do was take those bigger pool noodles and instead of cutting them in half to fit them around the PVC pipe, I could just rest it in its full size against the base of the PVC or against another piece of a pool noodle, and that's going to help me build that base out faster. Since the pool noodles bond to themselves, I didn't need any glue to attach them to each other, but I did need some sort of glue to attach that foundational layer of pool noodle to the PVC pipe and to the wooden base of the platform. I'm using this foam tack glue. It's by Woodland Scenics. You can get this online. When I first did this, I applied it directly to the foam, and for some reason, I decided I'd rather apply it directly to the PVC pipe. Yesterday, when I was doing this, I just kind of left it in this really, can you see it? Really thick, gloppy state of things. And it worked, it dried. Whoop, it's dripping, ah! Now what I've done is I take one of these little thingies, you can get them at the dollar store. And I thought maybe if I like even it out and don't have such thick stuff, I mean, this does take hours and hours to dry. So I don't know how much it will speed up the drying process. And then put this on here, and then I put it over on this side. Then what I do is I take my pool noodle, and we just kind of put it on there. One of the things that occurred to me as I was cutting these is I was cutting them really to the perfect shape to fit in, and because it was easier to temporarily attach them, and then I was like, you know, you're gonna have to permanently adhere these to each other. And when you heat the noodles, the two pieces, right, it's gonna take a little bit away from both sides. You need some overflow. You need your noodles to be just a little bit bigger, so when you're adhering these pieces, you're gonna lose a little bit. And every time I think of that, every time I say that, I think you're gonna lose a little bit in the transfer, or you're gonna lose a lot in the trans. You know Apollo 13? Where my Apollo 13 say it? Okay, yeah. Like, don't panic if there's gaps or you need to, you know, it's supposed to be like this, but now you have to pull it this way to get it, because what you're going to be doing is you're gonna be adding, you know, you want roots. Like, this is not a super smooth tree. So we're gonna take different things and we're going to create roots. Spoiler alert, the heat from a heat gun is hot. All right, that sounds obvious and idiotic, but seriously, you guys, watch your fingers. That burns so bad. Every day that I've been working on this, I'm like, I'm gonna go buy heat resistant gloves because I gotta get my fingers in there. You probably actually don't, but I do. And it hurts,
Okay, once again, I'm going to emphasize, please do your own research regarding the safe use of materials. One thing that I did learn in the process is that you can use a heat gun to actually bend and change the shape of PVC pipe. However, a respirator is necessary for that, according to my research, because the PVC pipe will give off toxic fumes. I am not even getting close to heating up or melting my PVC pipe as I do this, so I'm just mentioning to make sure that you thoroughly do your research on any materials that you're going to use. So what we've got going on here, all of these striations, parts of the bark are coming down. We've got more work to do in here, but I decided to stop doing the fun stuff, and I'm like, okay, go back and get the structural part of the tree. But there's lots of little details that I'm liking. It's like another, almost like a tree in a tree has rooted here. What I tried to do is, you know, these were like a right angle up with the PVC. I've tried to kind of come in and do a little bit more of a curve. I'm not sure how much of that you're really gonna notice in the final piece. If it goes the way I'm imagining I want it to look, it's going to be covered in a whole lot of that green leafy type stuff that I showed you at the beginning. This is the side of the tree that I've done the most work on. This is kind of what the other side looked like before I really started getting pieces of bark in place. I'm securing things when I need to with the electrical tape. So here's where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the tripod. The pool noodle is like this. And I will basically try to completely flatten it out. I usually do this when it's on a flat surface because that's smarter. Also, not waving a blade around is also smarter. All right, friends, that's basically the process. You just repeat that over and over again until the end of time, and you'll have something that resembles a tree. And if you're wondering how long this took, a very long time, days, weeks, I don't really know. I do think that I'm probably adding more detail here with all these individual strips of the pool noodle than you're ultimately going to see, but it's my first time and I'm just figuring stuff out. All right, well, here's where we are. That's as far as I got last year. This is now present day Kelly reporting from the pool noodle witch tree. You can see that I did add a lot of thickness to the trunk, added lots more areas where the roots are gonna go. In these types of straight, boring looking pool noodle areas, I will add some more detail to that. A little bit more work to be done with the pool noodles, but I think we're in a pretty good shape to begin adding some of that detail going in and painting. Wanted to show you here a way to add some branches that are kind of hanging off, as I added the long strip of pool noodle, but then didn't bond it up here. So these areas can bend off like a branch. And if you use that heat gun, you can actually, manipulate that shape to have it be more of a branch. You can trim it off so this comes more to a point. So I'm probably going to add along there a few more branches that are gonna come out from here. Okay, well, I think we can call part 2 finished. And I think our biggest takeaway was how not to do. This really wasn't so much a how-to video. But thank you so much for joining me on this chaotic journey. Come back soon for part 3. I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. Please like this video and, share it with 5 or 10 million spooky friends. I look forward to seeing you soon. Happy creating!